welcome to a new episode of the Advancing Consciousness series with Franco Di Nicola. This is a place where people can come to gain further insight and clarity as to what is going on and how we can shift things on a personal and global level, while also accessing higher levels of consciousness and awareness. We bring this series to you free of charge so that many are able to access this information. And if you resonate with what Franco shares and you would like to support his work, contributions are welcomed and greatly appreciated. A link is in the description and will be provided in the chat if you feel guided to do so. Also, we have many previous workshops, such as the most recent, Actualizing Beyond Your Current State to Live Your New Reality, along with our membership program, Let's Talk About You, where like-minded people come together bi-weekly to talk about the topics requiring deeper understanding and clarity. All of these are available on Teachable, and we encourage you to check them out as they are great resources at very affordable prices to assist in better understanding this human experience. The Teachable link will also be provided in the chat and description. And lastly, don't forget to share. As more of us are coming together and creating a shift in oneself, the more effective it will be to shift things globally. Thank you for joining us and being part of this change. Enjoy today's broadcast.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Advancing Consciousness series. Today is episode 80, and we get to play with something very interesting, very powerful, because many of us have kind of forgotten how powerful we are, what we're capable of, and what we can actually do to bring forward this new world. So today's topic is time to use your innate capabilities, and we all have innate capabilities, not anybody's been left behind, to bring our new world forward. We talked about new world, we've talked about how all of that is in place, but we're not experiencing it. Why are we not experiencing it? Because we are bringing it forward through us. And why are we doing so? Because we're doing so in a way where we are, each and every one of us are helping the whole redesign. And that's what's really taking place. So in this episode, we're also going to be doing a process today and give us an opportunity to be able, in a way, to exercise and practice that. So it's a takeaway where you can continue to play with it on a regular basis. Because this is not a one-time thing. It's not something that you do now, it's done. No, this is something we need to practice, because the fact that we lost a lot of our capacities to be able to do that, because for so long we adopted an idea that we are just this physical form and that we are kind of subject to the playground, we're subject to what's going on, and we really have no say in the matter and how things play out. So let's get started. But first and foremost, thank you for all of us coming together at this time, because anything that we are doing, anything that we put into action, we are doing together in a much more powerful way. We're scattered all over the world. Each one of us is exactly where we need to be right this moment and whenever you are repeating the process, because you're anchoring those energy points. And many of us have felt some pretty powerful energies coming through us and have created some accentuated experiences in the last several days. Today is the 24th. It is the last day of this particular surge that has started back in the end of the 20th of June, and it did peak on the 22nd. So basically the 20th, 21st, peaked on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, and it's tapering off today before we move forward even further. Anybody that's monitoring the Schumann frequency and so forth have seen that things are skyrocketing. In actual fact, we're going into ranges that most of it cannot even pick up. Why? Because we're calling it in, we're anchoring it in, and we're playing a very vital role in all of this unfoldment of this playground that we have chosen to be participating in, and also have chosen to be instrumental. So each one of us is tuned very finely and powerfully to be able to be that impact that you came here to be. There's no accident that you are here on the planet at this time, because it is something that you have constructed, arranged, and you've made a lot of adjustments along the way. Some of you even had gone through soul swapping. A lot of you have been going through a lot of back-end work, doing upgrades in yourself to prepare yourself. Many of you have immersed yourself in the whole playground and really got a deeper understanding of what to play with, what to shift, and so forth, not as a project of hard work, but as an opportunity to be part of the adventure, part of the upgrading, and so forth. There is no other playground that you would have chosen to be in besides this one. That's why you are here. Now, of course, there are many playgrounds, many opportunities, many capacities that we could explore and expand and so forth. And this one here is very tuned for exactly what needs to unfold, and you are part of it. Okay, so let's get started here. Okay, let's see how all this works. Let's bring that up there. Let's make it right here. Okay, cool. All right, I'm just going to put my little scribble sheet on. All right, so time to use your innate capabilities. All of us have innate capabilities. It's already programmed within ourselves. Each one of us has something very tuned to the specific opportunity and specific job you came here to do. No one is here at this point in time that's even of interest of any sort. Not only what this content that we're sharing right now, which is triggering your own memory, but other contents, other preparations, and other awareness, or what we call observational state that you've had. Many of us have felt very different from the day that we arrived on the planet. We maybe have not used a lot of it for the longest time. Some of you have, and other of you are just starting to go into it right now. All this confusion, all this understanding that we kind of haven't been able to grasp at this point in time, trying to understand how all of this works, is all part and parcel of you coming on board and being more aware of what you are here to do. Now, this is not, like I said, a job or anything of this nature. It is an opportunity, it's an adventure that you came to have. But not only the adventure, but to also be one of the builders, architects, and so forth to unfold it through you. And it doesn't matter what life you've been playing, because some of you say, hey, I haven't been out there in the public. I haven't been doing all of this other stuff that I've been doing. But at the same time, I still feel that I'm playing a role. Absolutely. You're holding a very specific energy, and your energy is shifting. Your frequency is a specific tone and octave and so forth that is also shifting, that is part and parcel of that. And there is a lot that you do that you may not be aware of, and that is just because we got caught up in the game, but the game is unfolding for us at this time. So like I said, it's time to use our innate capabilities, and we're going to explore what those innate capabilities are, because many of us have forgotten what that is, because we've been playing the game for so long. We've adopted the idea this is what the game is, and we've forgotten really much more of what we are, how we're capable of doing what we're here to do, and what we're here to do anyway. So now to play with all of that. So what am I saying? We're using our innate capabilities to bring our new world forward. Our new world forward. Like I said, we've talked about it. Many people have talked about it. Many of you know that there's a new world. It's already there. We're already in that playground, but we are the ones that are bringing it forward. Now it's our opportunity to use these skill sets that we have so that it actually comes forward and you start to see it more impactfully in our reality. Now, that's already happening. I'm not saying that we're starting from zero. We're not. We've started already for quite some time, but at the same time, things are speeding up in a very powerful way, and it's becoming more and more exciting for many of us. Yes, it can be overwhelming. Yes, it can feel challenging at times. Yes, a lot of stuff from our old world and all the things that we've given power to and so forth may be coming to the surface and may be moving through us and whatever else. But at the same time, there is that sense of excitement, that sense of thrill, because you are now stepping up and you are actually seeing a lot of the things that you've been kind of waiting to take place for many of us to come together. And that's what's playing out right now. Okay, so let's take a look. Using our innate capabilities and stepping up and taking an active role. What's that?
I thought the one from last time
Oh, okay. Skip that one. I don't know how that one.
Are they all older, or are they the new ones?
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, missed all the top part. The title was supposed to be different in all of them.
I know. So, is that the wrong one from the previous?
No.
Are those right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. Everything is right except for this part here. Okay. All right. So how do I do this? Just scribble. There we go. All right, guys. I guess when I was doing my little PowerPoint thing, I kind of messed up with it. It did crash at one point, and I had to restart it, so I guess I didn't notice that it changed. But anyways, let's carry on. So using our innate capabilities, step up and taking an active role in bringing forth our new world. All of us feel that it's time for us to take an active role. Where does it start? It starts within you. Where does it start? It starts in your immediate reality. But not only in your immediate reality, your internal reality. This is the beauty of it, because when you start looking at your chemistry, your design, your operating system within yourself, by just observing yourself, many of us do not take the time. Now, I know some of you are putting meditation involved and so forth to connect with yourself, but we're not really observing ourselves. Observing it, we are operating from software program, absolutely no question about it in one way or another, but there is that other part of us, the active part of us, the part of it that is our natural state, because we have quite a beautiful makeup, and our makeup in many, many ways at this point in time is very powerful in the sense of what we have access to. We have powerful access to the whole innateness design of Gaia moving through us. We have many incarnational human expressions from the original redesign and new aspect of ourself coming in through 15,000 years all the way through all of the different sequences and our multidimensional part of it. But by observing ourselves and listening and connecting with ourselves, we can connect with that dialogue, that knowing. That knowing is peaceful. That knowing does not polarize anything. That knowing is not having right, wrong, good, bad, dark, light, or anything of that nature. It has the full spectrum. It's the part of you that sees what you're looking at as a beautiful dance, as an opportunity to express and experience in a very powerful way. And that's the part. So it starts within us, the discovery, the connection to ourselves. And it doesn't matter what your life has looked like up to this point in time, when you really get to the base of what this is all about and what it even looks like, and with that deeper understanding of ourselves in that very powerful way, we actually discover this vast aspect of ourselves that is unlimited, that is constantly expanding, constantly reaching new levels of its beingness. And that is you. Starts within you. Then your immediate reality we're looking at is the reality within your playground, your home base, or wherever you are, whoever you're playing with in your immediate space, immediate environment, immediate interactions, and also your deeper connections with certain playmates that may have come through you or that are an extension of you in the sense of siblings or children or partners or extended families and so on. And it goes from there, and then it starts into the community and so forth and so forth. And we're going to really look at that a little even closer, and we're going to do our process around that. So using our innate capabilities that have been dormant for some while, and we're going to talk taking an active role in bringing forth our new world. All right, let's go to the next one. We have significantly underestimated our capacities while losing track of our purpose being here at this time. We came here. We knew what was going to unfold. You did everything to prepare yourself to be here at this time, to be part of this beautiful experience. You may have traveled many, many lives in many, many different planets, in many, many different dimensions, and have moved across the galaxies and different solar systems and so forth, and taken on multiple embodiments and so forth. And now you are here to be and do what you came here to do. Plus, you have selected your body, the life stream that it came through, all the lineages that came through, including your human entity, worked at a beautiful relationship to bring forth what you are here to do. However, while we were playing it, we significantly underestimated, underutilized our capacities. But that was on purpose. It wasn't a mistake, an accident, or something like that. We really wanted to have the human experience. We really wanted to understand the human experience. We wanted to dive deeply into it and feel it and experience it and so forth, even in that inverted world, that inverted 3D, 2D, and so forth, and that we are still working through. So we underutilized it because that was part of the experience, and losing track of our purpose of being here. Many of us have felt, why am I here? What am I doing here? And so forth. This does not feel right. Well, that not feeling right was because you were observing that it did not match the world that wanted to project from you. Now, many of us had to kind of wait for that part of it while things were taking place. Some of you have already been shaping your life for some time, and others have not, but you're still coming online now. But what we were waiting for, other alignments and arrangements and so forth, and also because of all our brother, sister souls that have chosen to play on the planet too, giving them time to do their thing. Was there an error in all of that? No. There was an absolute perfection, even when it looked like it was not that at all. Okay, so we have, and we're going to bring forth that to the surface. So it's time to get creative and bring forth our skills. All of us have powerful skills. All of us have not only a very specific frequency, octave, we carry a certain vibration that the vibration will alter depending on the experience while maintaining a very specific frequency that is getting more and more fine-tuned. So even all of us having those, what we call the signature digits, we're bringing more of those online, meaning that you are activating it more fully so that it's like a musical instrument, bringing all of the tones and all of the octaves within it to another level. And that is because of the fact that the skill set of harmonizing, utilizing that particular frequency is coming more online. So everything that we're experiencing is tuning us, fine-tuning us, encoding us, and assisting us to use more of our skill sets. And we all have skills, and it doesn't matter. And don't, you know, a lot of us get caught up in the idea relating to skill sets of what we've been playing the game so far. But the skill sets go way beyond that. Skill sets that you may not even be aware of from a ego conscious level, but you are aware within yourself. So we're going to bring forth those skill sets. It's time to use the process of dreaming, imagining, and envisioning the world within you. All of us carry the seed, carry the codes, carry the vision of this new world. You've already traveled massively in the last while to engage yourself with all these possibilities to help fine-tune that vision within yourself. So that dream state, that envisioned state that you've discounted for so long because, you know, we felt that that was child's play, or the fact that we taken and we changed our visions to reflect what the world has been reflecting, does not mean that you do not have that true vision in yourself and you're activating that vision. So we're going to use that part of that envisioning to be able to see the world within you. That world in you is you, first of all, as yourself, as the expression that you are, but then also the reality and the global reality, the global playground that we're all immersed and are playing very deeply with. So the world within us, because it all starts within us. Each one of us has, like I said, the key, the activation point to be able to do all of that. Oops. Okay. We all have a map, an imprint of a world / reality that we are bringing forth. Each one of us. It's not just one of us that comes in and says, okay, this is the new world. No, we didn't design it that way. This is a collaboration. This is a cooperation. This is a many-facet design. And this is the beauty of it, because even Gaia uses multiple different sentient beings and life forms and so forth, and energies and consciousness and so forth, and we are part of it. We are at the helm of that. And each one of us is part of it. Each one of us is redesigning every detail together, each part of us. So it's like a big puzzle with multiple pieces, thousands, billions of pieces. And how do you make a full puzzle until all the pieces come together? And that's what we're doing. We're putting the pieces together. The beauty of the pieces are constantly upgrading anyways. So it's not a stagnant mural that we're looking at once it's completed. It's an evolving mural. So once we put in our piece, it's an active piece. That piece continues to upgrade, and all the other pieces do so. But we're doing it in harmony. So it's like a multi screen that is always evolving, and new designs, more elaborate designs, more capabilities are coming into play. And that's how it works for all of us. And I apologize if I'm giving you the insides of all this, how it works, because really you asked for it, and you're triggering it within yourself. Okay, so it's a world that goes beyond and ends. So it goes beyond and ends the inverted 2D, 3D, and the world game we have been living. I know some of you will be disappointed. Oh my God, you mean I'm going to lose out on that game? I'm not going to be part of that? Well, if you are, you have a choice to maintain that reality elsewhere. Go play somewhere else. But at the same time, how many of us are? Most of us at this point in time, the only reason you're here, you're saying, okay, time to step it up. Because with all of this, all this inverted world, the worlded game, let me just make it less messy, beyond ends, this inverted 2D, 3D, and game has been thrilling, has been exciting, has given us an opportunity to do things and play in a certain way where everything was working backwards. Pretty cool experience, pretty cool design, pretty cool involvement that we have got into it. And we bought into it, we played into it, we went to the depth of it, we lost ourselves in it, but now we are unraveling ourselves from that, but we're putting it to an end. Why? Is it because it's bad? Is it because in some way or another it was a mistake? Or because it was thrown at us? Or that the fact that we got caught up in this idea that it was imprisoning for us? No, we're moving on with it. We're putting an end to it because we've reached that saturation point. We realize that that game was as thrilling, as exciting as it has been. It no longer serves us. It no longer serves us as who we are, what we have come here to do, but it no longer serves within the piece of what planet Earth is developing through the solar system, through the galaxy, and through the universe. So we're just really upgrading. This is our design. Our natural design is not stagnation. It's not working in a limited experience. It's an expansive experience. Our true nature sources grows, expands, and reaches new levels. And it's endless. There's no arrival point here. We're always in motion. We're always in creation. We're always in experiential mode, and so forth. That's what we do. That's what is our true design. This is why a lot of people feel bored and so forth, and they want to achieve other things and experience other things. Anyone that's connected with themselves and are using their creative ability, you'll notice that their capacities to create continue to expand. Their imagination continues to expand. Sometimes you get stuck and you go into what looks like a block or something of that nature. But that's only a temporary thing. But in actual fact, we're not designed to be that way, because we never designed ourselves to be that way. We were involved in our natural design to constantly expand and bring forth something very powerful constantly, and that is us. Okay, we are to shift, sorry to say, from what we call survival to flourishing. You've probably heard it. Hey, we got to do everything possible. Look at the world. Take action. Invest in this. Do that, whatever, so that we can survive. We created a stage. We played in survival. We've got our diplomas and degrees, and we have levels and levels of experience in survival. But is that our natural state? No, but we temporarily created it to experience what that was all about, to see what can we do in this idea that we have to survive. But our true nature is flourishing, and that is what we are shifting into, is to flourish. Survival puts all our focus, all our energy, all our time to stay alive in an inverted 3D, 2D, inverted world game. To stay in the fact that I've got to hold on to what we have, to hold on to possessions, people, situations, and so forth. To survive, meaning that we will not perish, or that in fact we don't end up somewhere else that we are not preferring. That's what the modality of survival has been. And many of us, right from birth, are being told that we got to do this, that, learn this, get the skill set so you can survive, so that you can actually have a life, so that you can take care of yourself. But that's all survival. And survival was a cool experience. It was a great opportunity, but that's not what we are choosing any longer. So we're stepping into flourishing. What is flourishing? Flourishing is allowing ourselves to create an environment where we do not put any focus on survival. Our focus is on creation. Our focus is on adventure, expression, and experientially enriched. We are reaching more of our higher capacities, more of our capability. We create an environment that does not create a distraction, that puts all our energy and focus on trying to stay stagnant, locked up, secure, safe. It does not put into that. In flourishing, it is always flowing, growing, expanding, and having a blast, having fun, reaching new capacities of fun, new imagination of creation of fun and experience and so forth, really utilizing every part of our design. We don't barely even use what our physicality's capacities are, or what it has capacities to do with it, and so forth. And that is when we are putting our attention and shifting into flourishing, then we create an environment. Now, in that environment, there is no haves and haves not. There is no idea. We have the option, but there is no sacrifice, no survival, no unsafe or anything of that nature, because that was all plugged in as the game, as an illusion, because it was never our true design, but we decided to experience it. And that's what we're putting an end to. So the flourishing is creating an environment where everybody's free. Everybody has the opportunity to express. Everybody has the opportunity to play. And everybody has the opportunity to use that creativity, imagination, and to expand this whole playground, expand themselves, and reach more levels of their true essence, without putting a lot of focus in other things that have been utilized as stagnation at one point or another throughout the last 10,000 years. So that's the part that we're putting to the end, where we're flourishing. Now, in the flourishing, it doesn't restrict us on what we want to experience, but there's an honoring, a respect for one another, allowing each person to be fully themselves and to be supportive of it, not in the supportive that we've learned in that inverted world where we're carrying people and fixing people or anything of that nature. It's about allowing people to have their expression and experience without, because we are not going to be turned on by this whole idea that we have to have light, dark, good, bad, right, wrong. We got to take advantage of each other. In flourishing, there is no advantage. There is no control, no ownership. We create an environment where we're all free to play within it. And that's what we're doing in the flourishing. And that's what we're shifting into it. We're shifting into it because that is our true design. We flourish because at that point, we are basically using our purest form of design as sourceness, as pure love. Are we getting excited, girl?
Oh, yeah. Woo!
Absolutely. So we can play freely. That was one of the things. We can play freely. We can be ourselves. Fully ourselves, not the adopted idea, not that the idea that self is this name, this label, this history, this lineage, this family, this birth, or anything of that nature. It is free, fully to be ourselves as this powerful, multi-dimensional beingness that is expressing through a human body on a planet that supports us to be the grandest aspect of ourselves. So be ourselves and express ourselves fully in our natural state, because our natural state is amazing in comparison to what we've been playing. I mean, again, every experience is amazing. Every opportunity and experience that we have is an opportunity of growth or whatever it is. But our natural state, that natural state is very playful, very imaginative, very creative, very adventurous, very expansive. That is you. So the natural state, as the powerful beings that you are powerful beings that have come to bring forth an upgraded human experience. The upgraded human experience is a truer design of the human experience from its original design and plus, because we've accentuated and moved even further in our design and our creativity. Even though we spent 10,000 years playing in that inverted world and we played very small, we played a very limited state, we still continue to upgrade from the back end, from the operating system, and now we're bringing it forth. So what are we going into? We're going in an upgraded human experience. That upgraded human experience does not have the same reflection of limits that we've had at this point in time. We don't have to have malfunction. We do not have to have aging and departing within a certain amount of years. We have the flexibility to be fluid, moving in and out and expanding and growing and so forth, and to be able to flourish in every part of our experience in form without any of the limitations and the deterioration and the dissolving or whatever you want to call it that we've experienced up to this point in time. So the human experience that we've had was a modified, reduced version of the human experience that was very reflective of, in actual fact, kind of an inverted idea of a human experience. And what we call the human planet, because that's the name we give it now, which we call it Gaia, and it used to be called Agartha and many other names before that, we're bringing it forth. So upgraded the human experience. And what does the upgraded human experience do? It also upgrades the playground. What is the playground? Gaia, our planet. And Kimberly made it so. So many of us do not realize how powerful the process of envisioning the world you would like to live in upgrading and shifting things personally and globally. Many people, and all of us fall into that category at one level or degree or another, that if we're looking at that the world is the movie, and we have to adopt the movie, We have to learn how to play in the existing movie, and that in fact the only time we can experience a change, the only time we can experience an upgrade, is only when the movie upgrades. But a lot of times we tie it into people, meaning certain authority groups, certain organizations and corporations, or whatever you want to call it. When those leaders, those governments, those whoever they are, because there's many levels of that, change the game, that's when we can have our true game. That's when we can be free. That's when the world, our reality changes. Yeah, we can believe that, and we have believed it for 10,000 years. Absolutely. Now, I know all of you have not been in this particular construct of your physical and all the connections of it for the 10,000 years. Yes, your body has. Yes, your human entity has. Your multidimensional soul, or what we call beingness, may have not. It may have only dropped in certain times, or maybe it's the first time here. However, in saying all of that, in experiencing all of that, okay, we also realize that in a way or another, as much as we've adopted the game, adopted that this is the playground, and that we have to use the playground to the degree it's presenting to us, we're now coming to the realization and activating within ourselves the powerful part of ourselves where, you know, that beautiful screen that we're looking at? That screen depends on all of us. That screen will change, and it is completely fluid. It's a light show. You're one of the projectors. And if you start to change, you start to project, you start to see the world differently, you are already starting the changing process of what we see, not only personally, but globally, what we see as the playground of life. Now, you have to understand, look at how much time, energy, focus that has been to train us, condition us, to make us believe that the reality, the world that you're looking at is what is. That is our playground. But it doesn't stop there. We've been conditioned and programmed, and a tremendous amount of focus is to make us think a certain way, feel a certain way, respond a certain way, act a certain way, so that we would continue to project that world. If we're told that the world needs to look this way, we're going to continue projecting that. So that's what all the educational, all the media, all of that stuff, and I'm talking about movies, shows, whatever it is, what others are sharing with each other, to put a lot of focus not only on fear, the way the world looks, survival, or anything of that nature, but to say this is the world. And if you want to survive this world, you want to take an active part in this world, you have to learn how to play the game. And that's what we've been doing. Learning how to play the game. But what game have we been learning? We've been learning the inverted world. We have been learning how to play the game that is becoming obsolete. It is obsolete already, but we are still reinforcing it. Even when we had the inverted matrix projecting what it was projecting, we now see much more powerful than ever before, that even that not being there, we're still seeing a lot of it. Why? Because many of us still believe that it's still the game as is. That's the thing. So when we go through the process of envisioning, that means seeing the world in you, how you see the world, by focusing on that part, seeing yourself, how you feel and see the world outside of every program that you've had, every idea or whatever is reflecting on you, by just envisioning that, on a regular basis, first and foremost, what happens, it starts to rewire you. It starts to create new communication channels. It continues to bring in and expand parts that are much matching of that truer essence, and dissolving the old programs, dissolving the old patterns, dissolving the old addictions, or whatever you want to call it, addictions to the old world, or any part of it. It starts to reactivate certain parts and turn off others. Plus, all the codes and energies and so forth that are supporting us at this point in time is assisting us. We're calling it in. We are activating all of that within ourselves. So the visions that you have, the world that you see, feel, and breathe within you, and you start to envision and seeing it around you, is already reconstructing every part of it. The part that I want you to understand, that every time you're doing that, you're creating a disrupt to the old pattern, the old screen, or the old world that you're seeing. It doesn't matter if there's billions of people that are still projecting the old world. Each one of us, and there's many more of us now, that are starting to envision that and see that world, being that it's way more powerful, thousands of times more powerful, are already creating a disrupt. In fact, it's actually showing the multiple layers. And those layers, once observed, is easier to see and dissolve and shift and change every part of it. Our envisioning process and capacities is so powerful that once you start practicing it, you will see how it starts to change. Now, the instrumental key here that unlocks this is that you cannot apply any expectations or conditions for it to be reflected instantaneously, or that it has to look the same way. You go in it, you envision it, you feel it, you breathe it, you see it being played out in your mind's eye, in your dream state, in whatever state possible. Apply no expectations, conditions that it needs to change. In doing so, you're not impairing it. You're not creating a filter, because the moment you put an expectation on, you are now reducing its capacities, and you're creating parameters. All you're doing, because those visions, those envisioning in yourself will continue to expand. Each pulse of that vision is already being shot out throughout the whole globe. You have to understand, our organic matrix is ready to receive it in open arms of sorts, just as an analogy. And use that as the foundational changes in the movie of what we call the playground Earth, or the screen that we're going. Everybody around will be affected one way or another. Right now, it's feeding back what we are been projecting. But as more of us are doing this new envisioning of this new world within ourselves, that is being not only encoded, but it's starting to use as the basic foundational core operating system. And that's how powerful it is. So using our vision, our envisioning, our dream state. So we're going to talk a little bit more. The envisioning of the world that you would like to live in as you're upgrading and shifting your personal global field. As you're doing so, you're unpacking it. Like I was saying, and I've said before, this new world is already here. We're just not, we haven't activated it fully. Only a small portion of it. This is why we're seeing multiple screens. And we can shift from one screen to another, even though it's not as solid one screen over the other, because the other one has been around for a long time and we still have a lot of support that we give it. But that's breaking down. But the thing is, when we're looking at all of that, we already are activating that other screen. We're already seeing what we're seeing. Okay. So, as I was saying, our current world game relies on us to sustain it and keep it going. Because the thing is, if you are changing, your vision changes, your viewpoint changes, you're giving completely different instructions. The old world cannot exist when you are emanating this new world, when you're living the world that's within you. Our current world is only still up and running to a certain degree because we're still, in one way or another, sustaining it. Part of us is in disbelief that things can change. Some of us are feeling that I don't know how that change looks like because I've only played the one game, even though that other part is much more rock solid, much more vivid within yourself, but we have not given ourselves as much permission as we would like to be able to utilize that as part of our expression, experience, and so forth. So in looking at all of that, okay, the old world is relying on us to sustain it. And what is happening? It's getting shocked. It is falling apart. This is why you're seeing all of this so-called chaos, because the input that we were providing before is not pure any longer in the old way, because we already are projecting this new world. We also engage some of our brother-sister souls from other dimensional playgrounds and so forth to kind of put their plug into it too, only to support us temporarily, not to override in any way, shape, or form, because we are the ones that are designing it. It's not outside of us. So it sustains by us. So what happens if this disrupted by you feeding into the matrix a different world game that matched you instead of what was adopted as a way of life? What happens if you create the disruption by just plugging in you into this envision, this reality, this world that comes from within you into the matrix? If you're putting that, you're feeding that into the matrix, a different world game of what we've been playing, because this is all adopted as a way of life. It's adopted. It's not natural. We adopted it. And that was cool. We had a great experience. We had lots of fun with that. But at the same time, we realized that we adopted it, and it no longer fits. It no longer supports us. It no longer is of service to us. So now we start putting that into the matrix. And how do you do that in the matrix? Do you get a special code they put on your computer, on your phone, or whatever to call? No, we're all connected to it by what you are doing within yourself, the way you are envisioning. You already are instructing the matrix to shape it. Like I was saying a few minutes ago, you're doing so automatically because we're all connected to this organic matrix. Yeah, even the ones that are still playing the old are connected to it. But like I said, we have much more receptive input to the organic matrix when we are coming from our genuine, true self by projecting that new world that lives within you. And it doesn't matter how crazy it may seem to you from an ego perspective, say, oh, that's not possible, the world can't look that way, or something of that nature. Don't even give it one iota of a concern. Go all out. See what you see. Envision what you envision. Dream what you dream. And if you're noticing the dreams reflect the old world, then it's not coming from the pure state. You just upgrade it. The process I've taught. Connect with, call in your multidimensional soul to fully embody, activate its highest home frequency that you can activate. Activate within yourself, or embody within yourself, which is already in you. It's not outside of you. Pure love. Pure love is source love, source essence, source creation. Activate within yourself the highest level of source essence within yourself. And then also at the same time, embody, activate within yourself the innate consciousness, the innate beingness of your body, which is the extension of Gaia. Once you've done that, then go into the next level of envisioning, imagining, dreaming, because that will bring it in order. And again, if the ego throws in its part, thank you, I love you, I free you. Your services are no longer required. Thank you for the amazing job, but it's time to move on and have a blast somewhere else. So, as we let go of the adopted way of life and we bring in that, we now see how powerful it actually changes everything that we've been experiencing. So how would things shift if we realize that the game of life projected around us plays a much smaller role than we were led to believe, as I was saying earlier? If we came to that realization that, you know, what I am seeing here has very little impact. Yes, we may have given it a lot of impact. We may have used that as a reference point. We may have used what we see as how we navigate or experience our lives. But that's only a small part of it. The biggest part is you. The biggest part is what we project, what we have within ourselves. That is the part. This is why you see, let me give you something to relate with. This is why you see when somebody changes their attitude, changes their viewpoint, changes their consciousness, that their life starts to change. Their reality starts to change. Their engagements start to change. Their relationships start to change. The way they navigate changes. What they put their focus and intention and whatever they play with all changes. Did that start with the outside world? Or did it start within? That's something to keep in mind, because it does start within. Right, Kimberly?
That's correct.
Okay, she says it's correct, so it must be. All right. So it plays a much smaller role. And many of us don't realize that, but we're coming to that realization, and I'm reminding you that you know this. That what's around you is a small part of what is experienced. This is why people go through what they go through in their changes of their life. Okay. That what we envision is what truly shapes our personal and collective reality and world playground. What we envision truly shapes, and it does. It shapes every aspect. And this is why I'll throw this back in again for you. This is why there has been so much effort, so much energy, so much time to condition us, program us, how to envision the world, how to see the world, how to interpret the world, how to interpret ourselves, how to interpret our experiences. Because the moment you interpret all of that and you take that in within you, you're the one that is projecting it out. Because if that wasn't the case, I'll just make the screen for what it is. Like even the inverted matrix, it showed everything backwards. We responded backwards. Then, if this was not true, then why go through all of the conditioning, programming, the media influence of a certain way of life? Scaring the heebie-jeebies out of you so that you operate in fear, operate in the idea that you need to age, be ill, this and that we can't trust each other, that we are separate and all of that. Why all of that programming and conditioning? Why all Everything's been focused around that, if this wasn't true. We look at the world, okay, this is it. Let's shape our life accordingly. No. We have to be plugged in over and over and over and over again. This is life. This is how you think. This is how you feel. This is cool. That's not cool. This is acceptable. That's not acceptable. This is good. This is bad. This is light. This is dark. They're victimizer. You're victim. Or you're a victim. They're victimizer. That has to be reinforced over and over and over again. Through movies, through shows, through media, through education, through other people that are training and teaching each other and whatever else, through the lineages that we've been carrying on. Why? Because this is a fact. It's a fact that if you were allowed, and of course you always have the allowance, but if you were free to envision your true self, your true essence, your true nature, this show would not exist. Because I can tell you right now, everybody, unless you're in survival and fear or whatever else, would be automatically in flourishing mode. And there would be nothing besides that. Okay. So Kimberly, we're done? We're all figured it all out?
Yeah, awesome, honey.
Okay, time to retire. Everybody knows what to do.
Yeah.
We go home, pack our bags.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I promised that we were going to do a little process, and we're going to do a little process before we do the Q&A stuff. Unless you're driving, doing something that needs your attention, do not close your eyes. Or, no, that's the other way around. Sorry. Unless you're doing something, close your eyes. But if you're doing something that needs your attention, specifically if you're driving or operating anything that requires your attention, then don't close your eyes. You can always do this later. But you can also do it without closing your eyes. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a little process where we're going to allow ourselves to get into a quiet state and allow our expanded vision, our expanded dream state or envisioning to see in our mind's eye, to see in our mind, even if you don't see it, feel it, verbalize it with yourself, whatever feels natural for you, what this world that you want to unpack looks like, feels like, and creates the environment around you. Now, first and foremost, we're not going to put any conditions, any expectations, what it's going to look like, or how it needs to be, and how quickly it needs to be. All we're going to do is exercise this process. You're going to repeat this process as many times as possible and make time to do so in the morning. If you want to take a break in the daytime, you can. In the evening, just allow your envision to see your world. Now pay attention when you're doing so. That it's not a reflection of the old world. Oh, I got all my toys, I got all this, wealth, and I got my partners and friendships and stuff. I'm not saying you don't plug that in, but you don't make that the focus. You see the world, how you are expressing yourself more fully. Using your skills, using your creativity, your imagination, your offerings, whatever that may be, whatever it looks like to you. But what we're also going to focus on is what the world looks like. A world where we're all flourishing. A world where you feel that there is nothing to be afraid of. A world where you can be yourself. A world where we are not competing with each other. A world that there's no lack. And a world that does not reflect the world that we are looking at now, that we have to have currencies or this or that to be able to have that. A world where you can move around the world freely. Visit, live, interact with whoever you choose. A world where you're playing with certain partners or anything of that nature, but you're allowed to be each other. There's no 50-50 or that, I got to please this person or that. No, you're just yourself. And allowing whoever you engage with, doesn't matter if it's children, siblings, partners, friendships, work, whatever, you're just being yourself. Seeing that creative part of you being expressed in your world. These are just the things to plug in. You don't have to do it all at one shot here. You can expand it as you go along, because the more you practice it, the more it becomes natural for you. Because it is natural in a sense, but it feels unnatural because we've been doing it the other way for so long. Not only that, when you're having these experiences, when you're engaged in this whole experience, what you're going to notice is that when you do that, you go out and live your life. Live life. And just pay attention. No expectation, no conditions to little subtle changes. If there's none, don't worry about it. Just let it just continue flourishing it. Because everything that you are doing, you're already collaborating in cooperation with the matrix, organic matrix, and with all of the beautiful brother, sister souls, which are all aspects of you all over the world. And this is not just isolated to the people that are watching it or are going to watch it later. Please share this as far as possible, because the more of us involved, the more powerful it is. So let it go viral, if that's the case, if you want to call it that. But when you're doing this, we're all over the world are impacting. And you will see, maybe at first, a lot of the rigidity, the patterns that were there before may start to break down, crumble, start to break at the seams, start to seem a little bit of chaos. That does not mean that in one way or another that you're not doing it right, or the fact that we're going to hell in a handbasket. No, it means that some of the old is going to crumble, so that starts to fall. You get to see what you've been already uploading through those visions behind you. And like I said in the earlier part of this episode, is that we're all instruments. We're all powerful encoders, and we're the ones that are unpacking this. It's not outside of us. So allow yourselves to play with this, okay? This is yours to use. The only reason you're listening to this right now is because you're ready for this. By doing so, please take the time after you've done so to write down what you envisioned when you get a chance. I'm not saying just now. I'm just saying even when you do it daily. And also the subtle changes you've noticed. That will reinforce you to go further. Have no restriction, as wild as you would like to see your creation. Because we can push the envelope. Because each one of us pushing the envelope will help design something that is very collaborative, cooperative for all of us. And yes, our immediate reality may reflect pushing the envelope, as they say, or pushing the limits of, and when I say limits, there are no limits, but the limits of what we've been accustomed to as adopted idea of limits. That's all we're talking about. The limits that we've imposed on ourselves, thinking, okay, this is as far as we can go. We're not going to do that in the envisioning process. We're going to go all out. Now, if you should have something that comes up that reminds you of the old world or some other story, automatically just notice it, acknowledge it, thank it, love it, free it. Free it means just put it in the field. But at the same time, still envision what you really see that situation be. So for example, you have a situation that may be challenging, okay? Could be physical, could be emotional, could be interactions, could be engagements, or whatever that may be. See it how you really want to see it. Not polarized, right, wrong, good, bad, what's better, or anything like that. Just see it being exactly how you see it, coming from within you. from a high level essence of preference. Preference because it is you that wants to experience it and see it. And just let that, just practice with that. Let's play with that. That gives us the opportunity. And you will notice each time you do it, it will shape even more. It will expand even more. You become better at it. So that in fact, as you go along, you can already envision it without going in, closing your eyes, without stopping. And I'm talking about down the road because we're going to start with that first. But you're going to notice that you can now, as you're going somewhere or doing something, you already envision. And you're not going to envision that I'm going to get what I want. You're going to envision a beautiful, harmonious connection, something that serves everybody, or something of that nature, seeing it unfold in such an amazing way where there is such a beautiful love for each other or expression or experience or anything of that nature, all coming together and do it that way. So please take the time to re-listen to this part of it because in essence it will help you. So what we're going to do now, if you can close your eyes, let's put our focus on your breath. And just allow yourself to be fully present with the breath. See, the breath is a very powerful tool. It is a tool to kind of bring us in alignment and in center. Because the breath itself, yeah, as much as it plays the role it does with the exchange of energies and exchange of codes, exchange of, oxygen to CO to, chemistries moving around and knowledge and information and all that stuff is going on. But it is a powerful reminder of our way of being. It's a life of fluidity, a life of play. So you basically are internalizing the playground, using every part of it, kind of shaping it every which way we choose, expand from it, and then share it and put it out. All the stuff that doesn't serve just goes automatically into the field, becomes pure source essence. It goes beyond potentiality because it's just pure raw material. So in essence, it allows you. So use the breath as an opportunity or as a method to go into that deep, quiet, relaxed state. So let's put our focus on the breath and to be fully present with the breath. All that exists right now is you breathing, following the rhythm of the breath as you breathe in and your lungs expand and feeling that beautiful expansion. And then the gentle release as you exhale, allowing yourself to really just let go, let be. And as you breathe out, feeling yourself more and more relaxed, letting go of any tension, tightness, or anything of that nature. So as we continue to focus on the breath and listening to my voice, we're going to go into a deeper and deeper relaxed state. We're going to enter a state of peace, a state of neutrality, a state of 0 point. 0 point is neutrality, is oneness all combined. And we're going into that state where we're connecting with ourselves. So as we continue to focus on the breath, allowing ourselves to become deeper and deeper relaxed, deeper and deeper connected with our true essence. Our true essence is not localized and limited. Our true essence is multidimensional. Our true essence is sourceness. Our true essence is the spirit of creation. Our true essence is having a human experience, but is not limited by a human experience. It is only utilizing the human experience. As we continue to breathe, feeling more and more relaxed, going deeper and deeper, accessing more of that creativity, imagination, our playfulness, feeling free, feeling exciting, feeling adventurous as we continue to go deeper and deeper, allowing all of our preconceived limitations just to breathe it out, dissolve, because it is fake. It is no longer required. As much as we adopted it, it's free to go. Allowing ourselves to go deeper and deeper, feeling more and more relaxed, more and more connected, more and more who you are. You're this infinite, powerful being limitless. You are the expression of sourceness in your unique. You're a powerful combination. You are the writer, you are the creator, you are the designer, you are the expression of what we call the human experience, the human playground in your multidimensional facet. As you continue to go into that beautiful space, activating within ourselves our beautiful imagination, creativity, activating our mind's eye, our capacity to feel, our capacity to sense, giving ourselves the opportunity to envision the world that is within you, seeing the world around you in your mind's eye, in your capacity to feel, where you feel free, you feel excited, you feel creative. As we bring in the energies to support us, to crystallize much more clearly that vision, much more clearly the feeling, the connection. And since we want to enable every part of ourselves, we bring forth all aspects of ourselves into this beautiful experience right now to activate our true nature. We call in our soul to fully embody, with its full connection to the multi-connection, meaning the oversoul and all the beautiful souls that are intimately working with us, including our twin soul. To activate within ourselves the fullest, highest home frequency that we can embody in this physicality. This frequency is a frequency that is to be used as part of our experience, that gives us access to our multidimensionality, our beautiful, beautiful soul mates, or in this case, soul family, including our twin soul. Activating to the fullest degree that we can embody in this physicality our sourceness, our spirit of creation. Fully embodying our true nature of pure love, source love, creator love, unlimited love, expansive love, as it emanates through you and around you and throughout the planet, each one of us. As they intersect, as they meet, it only enforces each other. We also ask your innate essence of your body Gaia reflection to activate fully, to be engaged fully, to be cooperative, to work with you, because we are expressing this new world that is a reflection of Gaia's advanced state, our human advanced state, our multi-dimensional advanced state. We also ask your human entity to be involved with all of its multi-experiences and connections, to be fully active and embodied So let's see ourselves in this world where we are free, playful. We are experiencing our pure self, are active in the design and playfulness. And if any situation shows up that reflects a limitation, just allow yourself to see it in the purest form of your essence. Allow your imagination to redesign the event, redesign the situation, to see it where it feels totally natural to you, without polarity, right, wrong, good, bad, or anything of that nature. And should you feel a beautiful energy of embracing, say, the individuals you're playing with or the situation, just see yourself doing so. Allowing your heart to emanate this pure love in all that you're envisioning. Feeling and experiencing. Allow yourself to be fully present. Imagine it, feel it, experience it. You're free to travel. You're free to play. You are free to be you. You are flourishing. You have no limitations. There is nothing that you are missing. Everything is there to support you, because you are creating what looks like support. Allow yourself to see the world shifting around you. How the old world is actually starting to fade. That all you are seeing is this beautiful new world unfolding. There has to be no pain to have this come forth, because you're allowing it to dissolve in its freedom. Thank you. I love you. I free you. All of the playmates, personally and collectively, that have played very rigid world view and roles, I thank you. I love you. I free you from your responsibility, from your role, because we are creating this new world. Your world that you are experiencing is ageless. Does not require malfunction physically or in the environment. It does not require deterioration, effort, struggle, survival, fear, competition. It doesn't require any of that. Because all of that is dissolving. You're infinite, immortal, limitless, expressive, playful. You are the creator. You are your own creation. You're the observer of creation. And you're expanding creation. You are a powerful being, navigating and experiencing a human experience, but upgrading every facet of it to bring it to its natural state and beyond. From this moment on, you will use your imagination, your creativity to see, feel, and experience the world that you feel coming through you. And then engaging and playing with that new world. Maintaining the feel and the experience with no expectations or conditions, and just observing freely, and just watch the show as you reshape the show, as you reshape your reality, as you reshape what we call the human experience and playground we call Earth, world, or whatever name you want to provide it. We harness the beautiful, powerful energies to illuminate us, to clear all blockages, to allow the energies to flow through us, to allow it to encode us, to bring more into alignment with your DNA, the communication channels, the consciousness it shares, its natural functionality. More and more each step of the way. So let's put our attention on the beautiful world that you feel and see around you right now. Allow yourself just to observe and feel it. Feel the excitement, the thrill, take the opportunity to repeat this process as many times per day as you can. It will become more and more natural, and you will be able to do it on the fly without going through the whole process. But you will document the different changes because that will enforce you further to be able to move through it with much more ease. And so it is. Let's gently put our attention back onto the breath and let's be fully present in the breath, allowing ourselves to be fully present with the beautiful movement of the inhalation and exhalation. This time we're going to use the breath to bring us more and more conscious of our environment, of being present in our reality, what we call the awaken reality, the reality of our beautiful playground while in a physicality. We're going to use the next beautiful full inhalation and exhalation, 5 inhalation, exhalation. After the 5th completion, you can gently open your eyes and be fully aware of your reality and environment. You may notice subtle changes energetically, even the accentuation of colors. No expectations here. If you see no change, that is fine too. Let's put our attention on the breath. And after the 5th breath, gently open your eyes. When comfortable, just open your eyes. You're wide awake, feeling good, feeling fantastic, ready to play, ready to rock and roll. This is your creation, your experience, your playground. Okay. Welcome back, guys. So, continuing to address your questions. All right. I got it right on the last one. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Fun, fun, fun. All right. Oops. Okay. Let's play. So we're going to address the questions, and we'll do about a half an hour of questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay. I know we had some from last time, and then any new ones that come along, depending on our time.
For a half an hour, we'll maybe get done the ones that we have.
Okay. Well, any new ones, we may address it next time around. Yep, and just don't forget the timestamp. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
All right. First question. From what age are children decoded? My son turned 16 today. Would he be part of the new wave of children?
Well, the first new wave of children coming in was from 87 on. The next wave was 2012 and on. And the latest wave was 2020 on. Now, as for the capacities and roles that each individual comes in, maybe on the surface they may not look like they've really got into their role playing of what we can call bringing forth this new world. But all of them, in one way or another, has been playing out a role. So the question is, at 16, would my son or daughter, whatever, be part of it? Most likely, yes. To what capacity it wants to bring forth will be entirely up to him. And again, the thing is, right now, many are seeing this opportunity, are engaging with the energies and codes coming through, and are stepping things up for themselves. It doesn't matter what role they may have played before. It does not matter if they have, looked like that they were in the inverted 3D world, inverted 2D world, or anything of that nature. Many of them are stepping up right now. Many of them are activating a big part of it. There's others that right from day one may have served playing a role, but at the back end of it, even though they may not always totally realize it, have been, but others do realize it but have not said anything because they had decided not to say something to not impede in anybody's completion of their own experience. So with that particular specific question for that specific 16-year-old son, I can say from tuning into the energy there, it definitely is playing, he is actually playing an active role in what is going on. Not making one better than the other, but I'm just saying, some take on a bigger role, that's all.
Next question now. Someone said they couldn't hear me very well.
They can't, actually.
Okay. Other mic?
Let me just see. Yes, I think we may have to change the other mic.
Okay.
Don't know why.
I'm going to turn this off, so you turn that one off first.
Yep. Okay. Sorry, we're just getting the mic situation resolved.
And this guy. Okay. How's that? Can you hear
Remember the positioning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it working?
Say that again?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. I think we got the mic thing organized.
All right.
You'd think I've never done this before.
Well, we have some energetic interference sometimes with the frequencies of the mics, even though we have a better mic, but it's been acting up lately. So we changed the channel, but apparently we didn't find the right one. So
Okay.
we'll continue.
All right. Next question. How can someone help the soul? Such a thing has been expressed and it sounds so simple. Is it really that simple? As in just be. Does living simply help the soul develop, or does engaging in specific things to do more of an effort for helping it learn, grow? Like learning about it, what it wants, how to get it, what it needs, etc. Same questions for the higher self-expression. Please, is there such a thing as I am presence? Our essence, I mean. How do all these differentiate from one another?
Well, the thing is, your highest aspect of who you are does embody every part of it. The innate of the body, the human entity in its highest form, and also your multidimensional soul, or what we call spirit, essence, creator, and all of that combined. Okay? We're always connected. We always have that capacity. The thing is that we shifted over the years. We shifted from listening and communicating with ourselves from that higher perspective or highest essence of ourselves to listening to what the ego has provided and what has been encoded by the ego, but also at the same time putting a lot of attention and time in what the world is reflecting. So to enhance it further is to kind of not to focus attention on what the world is displaying, not to gently shift away from what the ego is projecting, which is very polarized, right, wrong, good, bad, and all of that stuff, right, all of that stuff that's going on. And really going into that quiet space and communicate with your body, communicate with your human entity, communicate with your highest aspect of yourself. Now, most of it is always aligning itself, so in fact, just communicate. Say, hey, listen, how can I be of service? Where do we put our attention and focus? The beauty of it, everything that's happening right now is reducing the capacity the ego has over the dominance of navigating your life. And more of that higher aspect of yourself is coming online. It's coming to the point. So just allowing quiet time, reflection time, communication time with yourself, connecting with nature while you're in quiet time adds even a bonus to it, and so forth. You will notice that the more you go into that quiet time, there's more communication, there's more expansion. Also allowing yourself to be exposed to content that is of a higher consciousness and so forth actually creates a shift. I'm not saying that that is going to really change you, but it's actually matching with what you already know within you, so it's bringing that closer to the surface. So in essence, your soul, your highest aspect of yourself, your innate consciousness of your body, and also human entity will feel much more at home and be able to communicate even further. So really, it's where your focus is, your energies, and so forth. Now, that means, yeah, what's in the media, what's going on in the world, but also your interactions. If you're noticing that you're connecting with people or situations that really reflect heavily in the old world, you're going to want to pay attention to it. You may shift away from that, or kind of shift the environment in a way where you're not putting a lot of power into that. Then you will notice that your highest aspect of yourself will step in even further.
Okay, next question. Would it be wise to learn about the hierarchy of God? Is such a thing even real? Is this topic misinformation then? This is referring to the Kabbalah from only a minute understanding of what I have discovered. If such a thing is real and not misinformation, how can I contribute to this or learn of this order and appreciate it more?
Okay. First and foremost, there is no hierarchy. Period. Zero. Right to source. First of all, we are all source. Second, we're all creators. We create, we experience our creation. We have different levels of accessibility to consciousness purposely to have various experiences. We have made choices to experience ourselves in the forgetful state and also through the stages of access so that we can create different environments and different experiences. You cannot create a playground and experience yourself and fully immerse yourself in an experience if you remember yourself as source, 100%. Because at that point in time, it's hard to play the game when you know the game and you know the game is just a light show. So really exposing yourself to quiet time to connect with yourself and so forth is very powerful and very beneficial. Now, a lot of the teachings are teachings that may have been skewed or created to support the illusionary hierarchy, illusionary layers as prime creators and so forth. Even prime creator is the same as the different stages of creators and you. You are also a creator. You, from a multidimensional aspect, may have been involved in other creations. And when we're talking about that as prime creator, they're basically designers of the operating system, designers of the playgrounds. But we all have the capacities to do so, but we choose to be the experiencer, not always a designer. We all take the opportunity. All of it has gone through it. That doesn't mean we're all going to be designers. A lot of us are designing while we're experiencing life at this point in time. I'm not here to garbage any teachings. But what I would say, if you feel drawn, don't give wholehearted to it. Allow yourself to be exposed to it. See what relates and what does not relate. What resonates, what doesn't resonate. There's some factual stuff that may be beneficial and some others that are not. When I say they're not, they still reflect this inverted world. Because you have to understand that a lot of the religions, or pretty well all of it, to some degree or another, is a construct that was put into place to support that inverted matrix. Do religions exist on other playgrounds? Not the same way, and in most cases, no. It's very prevalent here, and it's very hierarchical here. It has, deities and rules within the deities and protocols that you follow this and that, and it ends up this way or that way. But that does not mean that that is actually the case. Those are all plugins to kind of create that inverted world and so forth. I know some people say, well, if we don't have these hierarchies and we don't have these entities or these deities and so forth, that everything will be chaotic. No, that's not true. The chaotic was created through all of that. But that was only part of the experience, because we have a true nature within ourselves that is very respectful for all aspects of ourselves. We have a deep realization that we're all aspects of ourselves. We're here to play together and we're here to expand together. And that, it's not here to take advantage of each other, and there's not have to be, a concrete ruler and a concrete fail or pass, or in this case, succeed or pass, or that, you're going to be punished or anything of that nature. Those were all constructs. Even the tree of life is limited to its design because it has a lot of interpretations to kind of minimize part of it. I'm not saying it doesn't have some truth to how it was designed in a sense, but there is a lot that is not quite accurate in its highest level, but it did provide a certain sequence of experiences, because in creation you're going to create sequence of experiences. Is it its true nature? But no, it is only part of supporting some part of an experience. Hopefully that's helpful.
Okay, next question. What I am living now is that it seems that there cannot be a coexistence of old parts of me and the new ones. So how can the process of redesigning be directed in this situation? It's very challenging because it is as if my body and energy are asking me to start completely anew in all fields and even in the smallest things of everyday life and get rid of it all.
Yeah. We cannot coexist with the old and the new. If you choose to be fully in the new, then the new is all that you put the focus on. So the old is going to have to dissolve. Every part of you, your body, like you were saying, your human entity, your multidimensional soul is purging out energetically, consciously, its design, its programs, everything that reflects the old. You have to understand that everything that we've lived up to this point in time was mostly all reflective of that old world, that old version of you, the polarized version of you, the inverted version of you, the inverted 3D, 2D, and in some cases 1D version of you. You wouldn't be listening to this if you were in 1D. But mainly the inverted stuff. So the process that we're going through is, yes, the calling for us is to shift to higher vibrational information, higher vibrational sustenance, which is, shifting within ourselves. All our old patterns, labels, definitions, way of life, connections, even where we're living or anything that represents that is going through a complete review, a complete processing of it, and a complete purging of it, so that that new world is coming through. The new world is fluid. The new world is expanding. The old world is rigid, and you can't carry both. This is why we're going through this process. This all started in 1987. It's ramped up in 2012, ramped up even further in 2020, and it's ramping up on steroids in 2021. And it's going to go for a really powerful stretch from now till the end of 2022 to really, really just purge all of that old stuff and allow ourselves the new versions of ourselves. Remember, we have been conditioned, programmed, and so forth to believe a world that served us when we were playing in the inverted world that no longer serves the new world that's coming through. So come to the realization, which you all are to some degree or another, and some immersed completely, that the old world cannot be brought with you. The old relationships, in some cases, if it's rigid and not fluid, because a lot of times it changes very quickly too, so it doesn't need to be purged. But old relationships, old attachments, old defines, and all of that stuff will feel more and more unnatural, more and more will start to deteriorate around you, and you will notice that you have to communicate, spend more time to communicate with yourself and then shape. This is why we did also the exercise of envisioning that world within yourself, because that reflects the new world, it's not the old world.
If one's soul chooses to ascend, is it possible that their programs keep them asleep, or they will wake up one day one way or another?
Well, if their soul has chosen to, what did you call it? Ascend? Okay, that's the word. Ascend. Or to go into that higher range or that higher experience of that new world, it will do and elicit everything possible to make it happen. Yes, programs, belief systems, old things, attachments, and holding on to that old world is going to create a challenge. But what happens is your soul, if it's committed and it has already engaged in that communication with your innateness, and also through your human entity, it's going to push hard and it's going to use these energies and so forth. So it's going to feel more and more uncomfortable, more and more out of its, your old world is going to feel so uncomfortable, and it's going to push it to a point of a breaking point if necessary to be able to, for you to just let go, and that will take place. Now, in some cases, if the other parts of you are so imbued, infused, and wrapped up in that, and the soul wants to or that multidimensional part of you wants to so-called ascend, and it cannot do through your physicality, it may choose to leave. That does not mean your life ceases to function, like die or anything of that nature, like people like to call it, but another soul can step in that may not have the same mandate to the same degree, and may be more of participating in a different way for a period of time. And that your soul that really is finding it restrictive may leave for a little while to get recharged, or may embody another physicality that is ready to have a swap take place. So there are a few options, but as long as your soul, your multidimensional part, and other parts of you have committed, it's going to do everything possible. And many of us are having some pretty intense stuff coming up. Major stuff that may have reflected the old world. That may be your current experience of this reality from birth till now. It could be lineage, could be past lives from your human entity, could be past lives from possibly even your soul, multidimensional soul, could be past lives, or in this case, connection to the old world that may have been reflected through your physical representation at this time.
Okay, next question. As a light worker and soul coach, how would you say is the best way to support people at this time as they awaken?
Shake them up. Well, basically, help them connect with themselves. And when you're doing that, you guide them through it. Let them understand that what they may be feeling, what they're working through, is the purging of their old self. Purging of their labels, definitions, old traumas, old attachments, programs, belief systems, perceptions that they've adopted. Let them understand that those were adopted, they were experienced, they brought them where they are today, but really what they're going through is a change. The change is letting go of all of that stuff and allowing the new aspect of themselves. So work with them to kind of let them go. In this case, assist them to see what's there that needs to be let go and help them move through it. They're like holding the space for them energetically, walking them through it. Don't take the responsibility to do so, because they have to do it themselves or else they won't be empowered. But to help them see that what they're doing is purging all of that stuff. that they've been living an old world that no longer serves them. If they're coming to you and they want to truly change their lives, then allow them to discover their true self and let go of all the old self. So that's the thing. Never see anybody disabled. Never see them that in some way anybody's broken. Okay, this is the other thing is, you're not a healer, you're not a fixer. All you're doing is allowing them to see what they've put their focus, their experience on, that it no longer serves, and that they're moving forward. Nobody's broken. Everybody is just purging old programs and so forth. They're shifting their focal point, they're shifting their experience and creation of their reality. That's all they're doing. Even if they're having physical issues, you allow them to access what the creation point would have been because of it, and really access that frequency that will create a shift within themselves. And that's really what you're doing as a facilitator.
Okay, last question. I live for my family. I can't see my family, my life without them. I was looking forward to life with grandchild and family. I'm finding it hard to see forward. I've been saying that this life now doesn't match my energy. How do we get through all this as I love my family?
Well, you can love your family, you can see them for what they are. But the thing is, the moment you have attachments to family, attachment to a concept or idea what the family needs to be like, who has to be participating, how it should look, then what we're doing is impeding and holding ourselves in that old world. We are restricting ourselves to see beyond that. Yes, this is a program, condition, and belief system, but it's also something that we may have carried on, that we have to live for our family, we have to live for our relationships, we have to live for others. The moment you do that, the moment you can, or the longer you keep holding on to that, the less you restrict. So, the more you restrict, sorry, and the less you access that higher aspect of yourself. So the point is, allow your family to grow, emerge at the capacity and the capability, at the pace that they choose. You can hold a space, you set them free. You see them as empowered beings. You see them as a playmate. Playmates are free to play with each other. Allow it to evolve, because the moment we're holding on to a certain construct or idea of what family life looks like, we impede and reduce the potentiality, because in many cases there's a grander aspect of experience and capability that we're not accessing or allowing to come in fruition or to our reality because of that fixation that we may have. I've worked with many people over the 36, almost 37 years. The moment you say that I live for my family, then you are negating your potential. You're negating you. And now you're living for them. You live with them in freedom, and you're always allowing yourself to be the grandest aspect of yourself as you allow them to be the grandest aspect. Don't put them in a pigeonhole, because what you're going to do is create a version of them, and you only see a version of them, and they may have already superseded that, and you're only seeing a version of it that is plugged into your reality as a thing, a memory or a functionality, because we will create versions of people that we feel that we have to be attached to. You can never be attached to anyone, but at the same time, you're all one. You're all playing with each other, but you're creating an environment where you all flourish. You're not here to hold anybody, restrict anybody, or anything of that nature. This is our true nature, our beauty of ourselves. If you want to participate in creating new reality, set everything free, play to the degree it feels to play, but never, 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 never define yourself by others. Never, never, never attach yourself to others, and allow everybody just to be themselves as you are being yourself. And you will be amazed on what is experienced from that. It may not show up instantaneously, but already signs of it, and it will just expand further. I found with many people, when they let go of particular individuals, that everybody flourished much more than ever before. Everybody started to experience freedom. Everybody started to experience a level of playfulness. Even in my own life, and I know Kimberly will share her 3 cents in that, but even in my own life, by allowing everybody to be themselves, they are themselves, but I also observe themselves. As much as I have kids and grandkids, they're just playing their roles. I engage with them, but I also observe them. I have no dependency on them. I have no attachments to them, but I love them. I experience them, but at the same time, they're all free as I am free also. So Kimberly, I'll let you put your 3 cents into your experience
my
of
3
that.
cents worth would
Yeah.
be, as you say, we don't.
Put it down a bit.
I do not, and you do not. Our families don't define who we are. We don't. We have our own lives. We live our lives, and we're happy. And I love my kids. Don't get me wrong. And I love engaging with them, and I have a lot of fun with them when I do hang out with them. But my life does not revolve around them, and I think that is something that has happened in the past with parents, that their lives revolve around their children and they forget that about themselves. And I think a lot of the parents now are coming back into a realization and awareness that it is important to always put yourself first, in not a selfish way that is where you're not being conscious of other people, but in a way that is good to you so that you can thrive. And really it's just about allowing yourself to thrive in the way you need to, despite of the family around you. So I've learned that lesson over my life, but I mean also learned that from my parents. Also were good teachers around that a bit to some degree. So, but yeah.
I found a lot of people, when they live for other people or have attachment to other people, they end up having resentment later on. And then when they actually depart or leave the physicality and you connect with their higher aspect, that they look at it and they go, oh, okay, I fell into that one there. I didn't really get to express. I didn't really get to experience my own life and create whatever I chose to create, because of the fact that I created all these attachments. I mean, we are here to play together, but it's about each other coming in each other's lives, because of to the degree we want to play without any expectation, conditions, or attachments.
Yeah. On another note to that too, if that is your joy and your passion to love and play with your kids and your grandchildren, and that is what lights you up, then that's what you should be doing. It's not that you ignore people or anything. It's just able to do that and have a proper balance between what you need for yourself, and to hold a good balance.
Yeah, and not to be dependent on it. So you, like Kimberly was saying, you play with them, you share with them, you experience with them, but no dependency on them, because that puts on a load on them, and it puts pressure on them too, and they may not reflect that at some point. But at the same time, as you're doing so, have no expectations of how it's going to look like. Do it because it comes from your heart. Do it because it's your beingness, to the degree it feels most natural for you, without any expectations, conditions, or something, because that usually comes into play also. Okay?
I think that's it.
Did we cover everything from before?
Yes, we did, my
We just have the new ones, right?
There is no more.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool, guys.
So
That was fantastic.
Next episode we'll be starting clean again, I believe.
All right, then we don't even have to address questions next time around.
Well, we can just do whatever we want.
Absolutely. We're free. Cool. Do we know how to handle freedom?
Yes, we sure do.
Okay. Guys, thank you again for this amazing opportunity to come together, to play together, to expand together, to do what we've done as we've come together. And please take the time to repeat and so forth the process. This is something that you are choosing to utilize. Go ahead.
Quick thing here. I'm sorry, I didn't see this until just now. Olga is asking how long it took me to complete that with my kids. It's been over the lifetime. I think I've been pretty good around that most of their growing
life, especially as they get older, because that's how my parents were with us. They allowed us to be, and their lives didn't revolve around us either, and they allowed us to just be who we are. And so I think I kind of grew up with that, so it was easier probably for me to release them and to let them be their little individuals that they were, and not have that concern that I needed to be a certain way. Like, yeah, I think you just let them go in stages as they get older and you become more aware. I think what helps is becoming aware of who you are. As you know who you are, you understand who your children are, and you know that they are quite capable to manage themselves and to have lives on their own and do all that thing. So I think it really first came from me knowing who I was and understanding their own journey and understanding my journey. But there has been certainly different levels of letting go along the way when it comes to other things, such as my daughter moving in a direction that was not on the same path as mine. But, it all works out in the end.
Yeah, and if you noticed yourself too, if you have attachments and expect them to go down a certain path and to maybe reflect your level of consciousness or something, and they don't, then of course there's a lot of disappointment. Then there's also regret. Then there's also the fact that somehow you may have failed, or that how could it be that I've created an environment where they would have flourished a certain way, but they didn't. They went a different way, and you've had to deal with that. Many parents have to end up dealing with that. So that's the thing. And I know with my own case, I saw my kids as individuals right from day one. I observed them. I really enjoyed observing them. I enjoyed the fact that in one way or another, I saw the uniqueness about them, and I never applied, because they, even when they asked me, Dad, what do you see me being like? And I go, well, I see you being you, and whatever that's going to look like, and whatever you choose to be, My kids have a certain level of awareness, but they're not reflecting it in the way that, I would have envisioned. But am I disappointed by it? No. I'm going to see it as their expression. And they get there, they get there. If they don't, they do whatever they choose to do. They do use part of the awareness that they have, but a lot of it is used differently. And that's okay. So, yeah, it's just
It's all good,
allowing
honey.
each other to be free. Yeah, it's all good. Cool.
We're all just playing a fun game together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, guys, awesome.
Thank you.
We'll go back to the Tuesday. We were planning to go Tuesday this week, but of course a few things came up in the week before that. So our intention, we just have to flow. Our intention is our next episode will be next Tuesday, next week. And if it does, it does. If it doesn't, and if it has to move, it moves. Well, what am I going to say? We'll keep you posted if anything changes along the way. And great. Until next time, go out and have a blast. Make sure you take the time to practice the process and observe the changes that occur. Till next time, much love.